Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. Today I shall be looking at the brand new 3rd Doctor 2-packs that are exclusive to Forbidden Planet and Underground Toys. I shall be reviewing both the 3rd Doctors for the first part of the review, and for the second part I shall review the Dalek and the Sea Devil. Now, this figure features all the regular articulation. His head turns, it doesn't do a full 360, at least I can't get mine to do it without really forcing it, so that's not something that I want to do. The arms do have articulation at the shoulders that do 360s when the cloak isn't on. It can just about do a 180 degree turn when the cloak is on, but the fold of the cloak does hinder the articulation movement. You have 360 degrees at the bicep as usual. Articulation at the elbows, the wrists can do a 360. You've got articulation at the hips that go out that way. They also go out to the sides as well. Knee articulation, the thighs do a 360. So it's really just the same general thing that we've all got used to. So the main thing that obviously you all want to know about is the detail. So let's just look at the sculpt for John. Now the camera doesn't really do the figure any justice. It looks a lot better in the flesh. But some people have complained about the sculpt, and they've sort of said, oh, it doesn't look like John. Actually, I disagree there. I think they've done very well. It looks very much like Jon Pertwee. The hair's very nice, lots of curls. It's grey with a bit of white and then a darker grey, and it creates all these nice shadows and different tones. The only thing I would say is that John doesn't look as old as what he could do. He does look rather young. William Hartnell and the Pat Troughton figures suffered the same sort of problem, really. But it's still a very good likeness, nevertheless, in my opinion. So, the head's very good. Let's go to the costume. So the cloak. The cloak's excellent. It's exactly right. You have the main black exterior with the red velvet inside. That actually goes all the way around on the inside of the cloak. I'll give you a better look at that once I take the cloak off. They've also got the small hooks. So obviously those just like hook into the loops if he was to do them up. And it's really cool that they've actually painted the sort of flap of the cape, because on some of the pictures that wasn't there. I would have preferred it really if it was showing on the outside here and this had been folded over, because generally speaking, if you look at most of the publicity images from the Sea Devils, that's the sort of way the cloak falls. But no, it's very nice. It's just PVC, very stiff, which leads me on to my next point, which is it's a bugger to put back on once you've taken it off. It also comes with his sonic screwdriver. This is really nice because for such a small scale. So it's all sort of silver. You've got the red around the top. I do believe it's a slightly different sculpt actually. You've got a bit of black, the red. What's really nice is that you've got the black stripes going round with the yellow. And on such a small scale, that's really, really good. So, back to the main figure, and back to the details. So, upon first look, yeah, great. The cravat is as it is on the story. The shirt on here is white. Actually, it's more of a very, very pale blue, but sometimes it does look white, so I will be a bit lenient with that. The frills on the wrists are very good. As you see, John's got his ring on. And all the frills here, although they're obscured by the cravat, are also very nice. But the jacket is where everything seems to go wrong. Now, as I said upon first glance, it looks fine. Why does this figure of Jon Pertwee have 2 buttons on his jacket? Well, that's not what it should be like. There should be one, not a button exactly, but it's these hook things. And there should just be one here, and it hooks on like that. So that's quite odd. And that leads me to my next point. So if I just take off Jon's cloak, which is easier said than done, I must say. Oh, there we go. There's the inside of the cape. Very nice, it is all red. As I said, the buttons are wrong. Well, that's not all that's wrong with this figure. The first thing that's wrong is the collar of the jacket. Completely wrong. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, here you can see that the collar, or the lapel, well, yeah, the top part of the collar, you've got this little curve, right? This sort of loop. And then you have a separate lapel here. It's not all one piece, it's like a very large gap. Whereas on other jackets they sort of connect. In this case, it doesn't. Now, what's the problem with that? You may be thinking, well, the problem is this jacket is not the jacket that he wore in the Sea Devils. The sculpt for this jacket is actually from another Jon Pertwee costume entirely. What it should be like, the lapels and the collar, it should be one whole piece, just like one curved piece. If you have the William Hartnell figure, the lapels on his are just like one sort of round lapel, none of these cuts that jackets generally have. He also has a handkerchief painted on for reasons I'm not entirely sure, because I had a very quick look at the DVD the other day when I noticed that the collar and the lapels were wrong. I got the DVD out and had a look, and not once did I see a handkerchief in his pocket. In fact, I'm not entirely sure he had a pocket in the story. The figure hasn't got a pocket sculpted on, so it all seems a bit mad. But if anyone can actually say, no, in the Sea Devils he does have a handkerchief in his pocket, then please tell me, because I would like to know. And then finally, the trousers are just sort of normal sculpt, lots of nice creases and things. So, yeah, very good. And the colour of the jacket is also very nice. It doesn't show up very well on this camera in this light, but it's actually a very dark blue with a bit of a black wash over the top. And it gives it this very nice velvet effect. You can maybe just sort of about see it. That's the first of the Third Doctors. Let's move on to the next one from Death to the Daleks. So, again, this figure features the exact same articulation as the first figure, because it is the exact same sculpt. The only things that are different on this figure are the dicky bow and the legs. The legs are, rather than being the flared trousers of this figure, are now sort of a greyish brown trousers with knee-high shiny black boots. So the head sculpt is exactly the same, no difference there. So it's really just the costume again. Oh, again he comes with his sonic screwdriver. Well, as I said, you've got the boots, which he did wear in Death to the Daleks. The jacket is black rather than a dark blue velvet, but it's not that noticeable really. On screen it does look black at times, so I can understand why they just left it as a black colour. It has the red piping all the way around the back and going up through the top and across the lapels. So, is this screen accurate? Well, yet again, no it's not, because again this sculpt of the jacket doesn't match what's on screen. The jacket in Death to the Daleks doesn't have this weird curve, although it's got the sort of same cut lapels. These actually do join here, so it's similar to sort of the lapels on the Fourth Doctor's jacket or Tennant's jacket, that sort of thing. It's all flat here. You've got none of these weird loops. I do like them. I am pleased that we do finally have Third Doctors, but oh, it irritates me that their costumes aren't right. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the second part where I look at the Sea Devil and the Death to the Daleks Dalek.